This guy's in, bro, he's different.
He's nuts. All right, you hit him for 25.
Bro, but look how I'm not doing no damage to him, bro.
It's rough. It's rough.
Today on GWB, we're talking to Open Mike Eagle. Hailing from Chicago, Illinois, he's a multifaceted rapper, comedian, writer, and producer. Today, he's here with us to talk his new project, Component System with the Auto Reverse. Most importantly, we'll be playing some Elden Ring, and I'll be getting coached on how to be more zen. Today, we're actually gonna play Elden Ring, right?
We're about to jump in the deep end.
Yeah, you familiar with this?
Oh, very familiar. I got over 100 hours in this game.
Okay, over 100 hours.
100 hours.
He did his service.
All right, so yeah, you gotta pick your starting class here. When it comes to this don't really matter. You can basically just pick whatever fit you like the best and kind of go from
I like
there.
getting fleas, so I think I'm gonna go to our purest forms.
I don't think you should do that. I think you should at least pick a pair of pants.
I'm gonna be a bandit.
All right, that sounds good.
So name GWB.
All right, see now this kind of gets into
Now this affects my build actually on the gameplay.
This is an important thing. It's like the gift you start with from the game, right?
Ooh.
Now I would personally probably pick the golden seed to start with.
Okay, so the golden seed, washed ashore from the land between.
The world that you play in this game is called the lands between.
Okay.
But they never really say what it's between.
Yeah, like what is it between?
They don't say.
What part of the earth is this on? How much do you like this game? You told me that you were looking forward to playing this game for a long
this has
time.
been my
This is
game
on
of the
your,
year for sure.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of FromSoft. From Software is the company that develops these games.
Okay.
So the first one I played was called Dark Souls.
Yes, I'm familiar with Dark Souls.
That's the one that got me hooked into their style of gameplay. Like,
Okay.
they are known for being hard games.
I was gonna say they have a reputation for their games being, some people would say overly difficult.
I think some people would say that.
Some people would say, get this away from me.
Yeah,
I
for
don't wanna
sure.
play
It
this
can
shit.
definitely frustrate you at times, but to me, that's what makes it very rewarding. Like, because of the fact that there's no hand holding. When I finally do take down that boss that I've been fighting for 15, 20 times, then I really feel like rewarded. On the right side over there, you see that? You gotta go to them little shiny things. That's always good stuff to pick up. Pillage remains.
Real quick.
Tarnished, wizened finger.
Wizened finger.
It's a lot of fingers.
How did that finger get wise? Is it like, is the finger itself wise? Is the person who used to?
Yo. All right, something about to happen though.
Okay, we just right into it.
Yeah.
So Mike, how am I blocking right now?
Okay.
R2
you gotta
is swing, but like,
you got to R3 to target him first.
Okay,
You got to
okay.
R3 to target
I target him.
All right, L1 is gonna block.
All right, cool.
R1 is gonna attack.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and Mans has many arms and he goes.
He has like 8, is he a beetle? Like I don't even know. Is he a beetle?
Yo, Mans is what they call grafted. So he has grafted other limbs onto himself.
Oh, so he's just collecting widened fingers and widened arms and wizened limbs and wizened knees.
Wizened feet.
What happened? I didn't die.
You did die.
I died. See, like.
You can't avoid that. That you getting killed right there is part of the story.
Okay, cool, because I saw how that happened. That was like one of those boss battles where you first start the game.
Yeah, you just
have
get
a
chopped
chance.
down straight up because and there's nothing you can do about it.
Okay.
The
This
Tree
guy
Sentinel?
is like hell on a horse, bro.
Yeah, he's horrible.
What's his name?
Tree Sentinel.
Tree Sentinel?
Yeah.
I don't,
He gonna get
I don't know
you
what his
killed.
problem is.
He just don't like people, and as soon as he sees somebody walk over down this mountain, he just starts swinging.
So every time I approach this mountain, it's just, bro, he is a demon.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. He's ridiculous.
Now with this game, right?
Yeah.
If I was to beat him without really leveling up, would I get like more of a bonus, or I have to just
you
grind
would
till I
get the same bonus, but because you're so level, that bonus would mean a lot for you.
I think the general consensus as of now is that this is game of the year.
Probably, yeah.
What do you think makes this game of the year? Is it the open worldness? Is it the leveling system? Is it all the above? Like, what makes this game so special to you?
So I think the thing that really gets people hooked into FromSoft games is this gameplay and how it makes every choice you make with the controller important. Like, you could beat that dude if you knew, like, the timing of his moves.
I want to go at him, bro.
Like if you learned his moves.
I want to go at him, bro.
Even as a weak character, if you learned his moves, there's people who do like no hit runs of this game.
Which is insane.
Right, like it's people that do level 1 runs, like they never level up.
Yeah.
Because each and every fight is winnable. You just got to learn how to do it.
Right.
And I think like just that sense of accomplishment and the quality of the enemies and the fights, I think that's their calling card But in this game, they put all of that with the open world, and there was a lot of people who doubted it could even be done.
Right.
But they made it like they did open world in their own way, and there's literally something to do everywhere.
They brought a uniqueness to it.
There's no wasted time, no wasted quest. Everything matters, and I feel like we haven't seen a game like that, you know, in an open world setting.
And it's like so much replayability because of that, huh?
Yep.
This guy's in, bro. He's different.
He's nuts. All right, you hit him for 25.
Bro, but look how I'm not doing no damage to him, bro.
It's rough. It's rough. Like, you really gotta, you know, to make it fair, you need to go around the world and level up.
And really level up.
You gotta get a little stronger.
Yeah.
You gotta kill some things.
See, that's the stubbornness in me, though.
Weapons,
I don't feel like grinding right now.
Everybody does this.
Yeah.
Everybody.
That's right, until they finally reach that point.
First boss.
I was gonna say, when you first saw him, how many
ran
times
up on him. I
you
ran up on him.
exactly,
Of
you
course I
ran
did.
down. You seeked his hands.
Yeah, exactly.
You seeked his hands. You ran down on him.
Like, he ain't nobody.
Okay, so this is your build. You've already completed the game too,
I
right?
have. This is New Game Plus.
New Game Plus. Is gaming one of your creative outlets?
Man, it's probably my first go-to every day, you know, in terms of like, I got some free time, I wanna, you know, get my mind off of work. It's like one of the first things I go to.
I would assume rapping is one of those other creative outlets as well.
Yeah, that's the bread and butter.
So how did it start for you with rapping?
You know, I started rhyming in high school. I mean, I won't say as a hobby, because it was a lifestyle then too, like, because we was, you know, I grew up in Chicago. People who I was around, we called ourselves like the hip hoppers. Like that was what we did. Like we rapped, we break danced, we was doing graffiti, like all of it. But it wasn't until like, you know, I got a little older, I was like, oh, I could really see if I can make this work, you know, like as a career. And I started making some music, and yeah, man, I'm about to put out my 8th album.
8th album. The title is very interesting. I had to read it a couple times. I think I'm a decent reader. I had to, I had to read it a couple times. Component system with auto reverse.
Yep.
What's the inspiration behind the title? Number one, because I'm a nerd. I like hearing shit like that.
Okay.
And what's the inspiration behind the project in itself? Or, you know what I'm saying?
I used to, because I was really into underground hip hop. Underground hip hop wasn't played on the radio. It was a couple of videos that would come on BET. You really had to look for it. So there was these 2 radio stations in Chicago. They were college stations, and both of them had a hip hop show that played the underground shit. But they was always super late at night. So what I would do is I would fall asleep, hit and record on a tape while the show was playing, and wake up like, oh, these are the songs that they played last night. So I'm pointing to how I used to get that music, and I'm also pointing to that technology in a certain sense. So a component system with auto reverse is literally a shelf stereo system that used to be really popular in the 90s. So it's representing that sound, it's representing that music from that era, you know, and within that too, it's like a lot of guest MCs on the album, and a lot of just like rhyming and going for it, like more than I've done a lot in the past.
I got to see Elden Ring. You made me a believer. I'm going home, I'm downloading it.
You gotta hit me up if you ever need help with the boss.
Bro, I'm definitely gonna seek your counsel.
There we go. That's a great way to put it.
I'm gonna sign a severed finger letter for your counsel. But I want to get into a lot of other things you got going on, so let's do that.
Word.
Let's talk about component system. You mentioned something that was interesting to me. You said with this album, it brought you back to, you know what I'm saying, the concept obviously was you growing up listening to underground hip hop in Chicago. You added some spitters to the album in more of a way. Do you feel like you yourself even approached it differently? Like you're spitting more in that underground tone?
Absolutely.
Talk about that a little bit.
I feel like when I think back to those tapes, and like I said, I still have a lot of them, so I still listen to them. I think about what caught my ear about certain MCs or certain songs. A lot of it was literally them trying to be impressive. Like them trying to say the best bars, the wildest bars they could think of. And my approach to a lot of these songs, in my writing, I'm like, okay, let me have in the front of my mind, have songs where I really kind of like bar out more in that way.
How much fun is it making those type of records too, though, right? Where you're just like, yo, let me just bar up.
Well,
is it a challenge? Is it fun? What's that type of approach?
It is a challenge. And that particular record I made with this producer named Diamond D, who was a legendary hip hop producer. He dropped his first album in like 91. He'd been on albums with like Tribe Called Quest, Big L, Fat Joe, like he's a legend. You know, I was able to link up with him and make music with him, which was like just the highest honor for me. And for me to be working with him, it's crazy. So since he's the legend, I kind of had to make music the way that he typically does,
Right.
which is I had to go to where he, out of state to where he lives and write the song in front of him, basically. Like,
Really?
he's in the studio.
I like that though. I'm not to cut you off. I'm
Yeah.
like I said, I'm a nervous stuff like that. Like, nowadays everybody just sends songs to each
And
other.
that's been my whole career is everybody goes to their house.
That's what I'm
and then,
saying.
You know what
and
I'm
then,
saying?
You go pen your verse or whatever,
Right.
And you send the verse through.
Yeah, exactly.
This is different. So this sounds like it was more of a challenge for you, especially with somebody, a legend of that caliber.
Exactly. Somebody I look up to. I'm having to kind of do it in a way that I'm not used to doing it.
Yeah.
But it's like, this is another way to do things. This is another way that it had been done for years as people got together in the studio and made the music.
You even worked with the late great MF Doom. And I know for somebody with your rap style, somebody with your type of performance, I know that had to be a special moment.
That's my favorite MC of all time.
What was it like working with that legend before he ultimately, tragically left us?
I mean, there's a song on the album. It's literally a tribute to Doom. The 2 first Doom songs I heard were times when I fell asleep taping the radio. I woke up, listened to my tape, and the last song before the tape cuts off is like this dude. I'm like, who is this? Yeah. This is crazy. Like rapping over this weird Barry White sample and and it just didn't sound like nothing else from the time. And so I really got deep into him like very early, his development. And then you find out he was in KMD and then like putting all the little pieces together and his rap style, his music, like it has been the most important rap music to me. As an MC. Yeah, like to be able to do songs with him was, beyond an honor.
Let's speak about performance too. I love hearing that part of it from artists. Do you ever still get nervous when you go on stage? You've been doing it so long.
I have the size venue that I like performing at. It's like 300 to 500 people room. I can do that all day. Yeah, like that. That's a nice size, like good energy, like you don't feel like anybody's too far away. Like I can do that all day, but as it gets bigger, I can still get a little nervous if it's like a 1,500 or if it's some big festival or there's thousands of people.
You booked for a festival coming up. So is it
a pursuit?
Yeah, talk about that.
I'm really looking forward to that because I think Southern California has a legacy of having really dope hip hop festivals, but that's kind of went away.
So the set list, does it differ when you do those type of situations? I always wondered that too. Like when you have your shows, your shows you like to have curated, are you gonna do something a little different when you do the festival?
Yeah, so I think for that one, I am gonna gear my set a little bit more towards being impressive. You know what I'm saying? Like being lyrically like on point, putting those songs forward. Like I do a lot of like singing and melodic stuff in my sets too. I would probably dial that back a little bit for this audience.
What do you enjoy about podcasting? And speak to a little bit of your experience with podcasting.
The podcast I'm most known for is a podcast called What Had Happened Was. And the way we do that is an interview show, but it's seasonal, right? And each season, I focus on one artist and each episode is about one album in their catalog, right? So first season I did with Prince Paul. Second season I did with LP. Third season I just rapped with Dante Ross, who was a business guy. He worked for labels in the 90s. Like the real joy for me has been that like I get to take the music that I love the most and talk to the people that made it and get every question I ever had about it.
Because they're probably just up there in your head. You know what I'm saying? They're probably just been sitting there and you finally get in front of them and you get to actually talk to them about it.
Yeah,
that's fine.
And they're into it and it's successful, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like rewarding on a lot of levels.
It's been great having you on the show today, my brother. It's been great, you know what I'm saying, getting into some Elden Ring. You made me a believer.
Good.
I'm gonna hit you up when I need my build.
Dark side.
Yeah, I'm on the dark side now when I need my build made. Appreciate you, Open Mic Eagle.
Appreciate y'all for having me.
My boy.
Yes, sir.